Hi, this is Tracy from We Craft at Home, and yes, it's Christmas again. So this is number 10, I think, November. Can't believe we're nearly there now. I've got so many other ideas I wanted to show you. I'll try and fit some in anyway. We'll ramp up the Christmas now. But today we are going to do a cracker template, and it's very simple to do. I don't know about you guys, but I don't like small crackers. So I'm going to do an extra big cracker. So I need my diamond and just a square. And I will show you how I'm going to do mine very simply. So the square, I want 11.5. So it's almost the whole mat. 11.5 inches is just about comfortable enough to be using the whole mat. Now I'm going to send the square to the back because I want this in the front, and I am going to squash it right down. See how wide it is. Yeah, that's about right. And what we're going to do, we want, with the square in the middle of the mat, you want to go in about 3 inches and put your diamond on the line there. I'm going to go in because it doesn't look like it's, and you want it sharp on the line, so the blue dot is on the line. Okay, we're going to come back out. That's display zoom to mat, and we want a few more of them. So layer, duplicate. Let's move the square out the way a minute. Layer, duplicate, that's 4. Layer, duplicate, and layer, duplicate. So we've got 12 altogether. Now I'm going to put the square back in, and I'm going to take the bottom one and put it down there. Now again, check, and we're checking 2 things here. It's not there, and we need it on the 3rd line. Yeah. So display zoom to mat size. Make sure that's on the 3rd line. Yeah. So now we are going to grab them all, and then you're going to hold shift and click on the square. So it's not the square we want. And first of all, we're going to centralize them so they're all in a straight line down the middle. We'll have to move them over in a minute. And then the next thing we're going to do is distribute evenly downwards. Okay, and now, while we've still got them all, I'm just going to move them back over to the 3rd grid line. Now, hold shift and pick the square again and subtract. Now there you have the basic half of a cracker. Because I like to do a big one, I'm doing it half and half. There you go. Now you do need some score lines. So path tool, you want to do one score line from here, hold shift, straight down to the next one, double click. I'm going to do that again, that didn't go straight. My mouse is not playing very nicely at the minute. So, path tool, click, hold shift, straight down and double click. And then change it to the dotted line. Again, path tool, hold shift and bring it down and double click. And change it to a score line. You can do one down the middle as well if you like. So I'll do one. Although these really should bend on their own. They don't really need a score line. Now the part is, there's your main score lines. If you want to have a round cracker, then you don't put score lines going across. However, if you want it to be like a square shape or a hexagon or anything like that, then you need the score lines. I want round, so I don't want to put score lines on. But that's it, basically. That is the template for a cracker. If you wanted curvy or zigzag lines on the end of the cracker, I'll show you quickly. I would use this. Now it's up to you what shape you use, obviously. And you know that the width, you want it 11.5. Yeah, they're going to be too big, aren't they? Let's have a look. So maybe 5 3/4. Just done that in my head, so if I'm wrong, I apologise. Duplicate it. Actually, it does need to be a bit bigger, but that's okay. What we want to do is, I think it's got to come down and in. There we go. So they're now layered over each other. Because you need the flow to keep going, you have to do one wave over the other. So display, zoom to matte size. Now what we'll do is we will weld them two, and then what you would do is add it to your square, obviously making the square a little bit smaller as well. But yeah, do this when you've got just the square before you do the diamonds, and you can see you would then see if I can show you. You would then add it like that so that you've got a curly top, if that's what you want. I actually want a straight top. And then you just cut it out, and of course then you're going to go through all your pattern papers, all your Christmas papers, and we're going to make a huge cracker. So let's go over to the craft table and we'll put it together and I'll show you what I mean. See you over there. Okay, so you can see I've cut mine out. I'll show you what I cut mine out of. I actually, although it's Paper Boutique, I actually got it from the Works, and if I remember rightly, it was only £7 or £8. But some beautiful papers in there, and that's the one I used. I just think it's nice to have that on a straight edge. So yeah, I got that from the Work. I mean, they have loads and loads of papers. Most of their packs are only £3, but that was Paper Boutique, so it's a little bit more. So I just wanted to show you what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cut the edge off one end. You don't have to do this if you're not using like the patterned paper like I am, because there's obviously two parts of it. So one is going to be put underneath, because we've got to stick that together. So, trusted glue as always. Oh, it is coming out. Now I obviously want to make sure that the pattern doesn't show on the other side. I like to have plenty of room in my crackers to put my own little gifts. It's like an extra little gift for Christmas. So I think I'm just gonna do this edge as well. There we go. And like I said, I wanted mine round. If you was having yours square or anything, you'll have your lines to follow. But I want mine in a round shape. So I will be putting it round and gluing it together on the end like that. But before I do that, you want to put your snap in. And what you need to do is just make sure it goes over both diamonds, so that when people pull, they're pulling these. And all you're going to do is stick a bit of glue there. Make sure I've got the right one. And a bit of glue there. Tie it off. There we go. And that is just making sure that the snap is both sides. You obviously don't want to stick it all the way because you want it to actually snap. There we go. Okay, leave it for a little while to let it dry. And now, because I know this is going to be a pain, I am going to use double-sided tape, but I'm going to use it's still high tack, but I find it a lot easier to use. It's flatter, it's just as strong. So we're just going to do it one end. Still have to cut it. And then spend half an hour trying to get it off. And it's not static like the red one, so you don't get it stuck everywhere. But I do like to just put a line of glue as an added extra. And then just bring it together. So obviously it's a bit tricky, but if you get it right, you don't have to do it this big, this wide. You can always bring it round more. Right, I'm going to use my big bone folder and just push it down all the way through. Okay, and then what we're going to do is just glue the sides. I mean, you can do it all in one go. I find it easier to do it one at a time so that you can concentrate. Snaps you can get anywhere. Amazon. I know Pinflare used to do them actually. I don't know if they still do. I used to get them from her. Okay, and now what you've got to do is just wrap one end. Now I love this ribbon. The red and green picks up the colours on the end. So make sure that you have wrapped one end like that, and then you feel from the other end. And once that's filled, you can then do that end. I'm just going to tie knots for now so that I can show you. So you fill it with whatever you want to put in there. And then tie the other end. And then what I'm going to do is just wrap a nice piece around the middle to hide where we had to stick it together. Like that. So I just literally need... Sometimes glue is not the best for sticking ribbon, so I will use the high tack tape again for that. So I'll put a bit on there. Let's not mess around this time. Used tape, which was silly. Because I used it on tape, that is why that cut is so ragged. So now I've just used my other scissors. It's a lot of a straighter cut. A lot more of a straighter cut, sorry. Proper English. Okay, so we're hiding the middle, and then you've got tons of embellishments that you could, I'm sure you've all got plenty you can use. Maybe a reindeer, that might look nice. Or a poinsettia, seeing as there's flowers either end of this, or trying to see what I've got now. One of these, maybe whip one of these up. There we go. So you just embellish how you want to, but I mean that is such a simple way of just doing your own crackers. I mean I do mine extra big, I know that. I realise that. You can bring it down in size if you like, but I do like to be able to put decent presents inside mine, like have decent room for it, so that's why I like to do mine extra big. The other thing I wanted to show you though is that it can end up costing a lot with all the papers and everything. I mean, you could use normal papers and add a little bit of embellished paper in the middle or something like that instead of ribbon, but the works. Now I found these, I've got these for the kids. Look, you get enough to make 6 crackers already done. Look, they come out like that. You get the tags, the snaps, the hats, the jokes, personal name tags. So 6 crackers. Oh, the ribbon ties, it's like a raffia ribbon. The hats, the joke, the snaps, and then name tags to personalise each one so you know who you've done for what. For £3. And they had reindeer, they had Santa, they had a nutcracker, and then they had adult ones. I think they were £5, so they were a bit longer and shiny. But that, I mean, £3 for everything apart from the gift, if you want to make your own, is just ridiculous. And they're a nice size, they're not a silly size. So I think it shows you on the back the size you've got to get your present in. So for £3 you can't go wrong. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.